I guess there's not going to be any holiday cheer in Vermont for the grandchildren of Patrick and Barbara Giron. Now, this is quite the case, okay? So an elderly couple gets picked up for getting 60 pounds of weed, but apparently the guy who's 3 years younger, so really she should know better, right? He is sitting in jail while she just got a citation. So she got a citation, she got to walk away. Meanwhile, he's in jail. That's not the overall point. Basically, what the fuck, Nebraska? You guys still living back in the 1830s? Back into the... Okay, so you all still got horse and buggies over there? You know, Nebraska? What are y'all, a bunch of corn huskers? Is that all y'all do? Just husk a bunch of corn and fuck with old people trying to spread holiday cheer? So, the details for the thing, Patrick Giron, 80 years old, Barbara Giron, and I wonder if they're related to Aisha. So, Patrick and Barbara Giron, they had 60 pounds of high-grade marijuana. It was worth $350,000, over $250,000. The Nebraska authorities, the Nazis who, you know, these, that's Nebraska, right? There's 2 million people, so 2 million people who love these Nazi, Nixonian, war-on-drug-loving motherfuckers. They love it. 1973, they're not going to end the war on drugs. They're going to keep on going forward. They're going to steal $250,000 from an old couple. 80 to 83 years old, and it's interstate. So, hell, this is like a perfect case for Donald Trump. Maybe this will be the case that'll, I don't know, man. Patrick Giron and Barbara Giron. And then they said that they were in a boxes, pickup topper, driving from Northern California where it's legal to Vermont. And they had a truck, and they had it in the back of the truck, and that's pretty much most of the details right there. Driving through Nebraska, right? They was like, hey, what's going on? So let's go fuck with this old couple. And then they smelled some marijuana, and they was like, hey, we want to look under this hatch, and then there's a bunch of boxes of a bunch of marijuana. Yeah, so man, you know, Nebraska, standing up, standing proud. I remember back in the olden days, the prohibition, like, there's still some places where there's prohibition, and people will stack up Budweisers and Coors Lights and say, look what we got a huge bust. You know, as if it was a bunch of heroin and cocaine. Nope, just a bunch of Budweiser. Excuse me. So yeah, wonderful bust there. Budweiser, oh my God, no, you didn't get the Budweiser off the streets, did you? And actually, in some respects, alcohol is much more dangerous than all the other drugs. But it's basically just shows, like, it's stupid, it looked dumb, it looked like it was out of place, it was like, it was anachronistic. It was like, you're in the wrong time period. That was like 100 years ago. What are you guys doing? And that's Nebraska. Nebraska, you're still living in the olden ages, and actually most of the United States is still living back in the good old days, which there never was. There's poverty and lots of, just look at the history books, wars. Okay, so Nebraska, fucking Nebraska, what can we say about you? 1.9 million people, right? A bunch of kiss asses, right? They can't even legalize marijuana in Nebraska. I'm sure their democracy is broken. Its largest city, Omaha. It's on the Missouri River, right above Kansas, or right above Iowa, or Kansas, or Iowa. Who gives a shit? It's not Colorado, right? And they're all like, oh, Colorado, it's Colorado's fault. So, Nebraska, very much in the middle. This bland. Nobody knows shit about Nebraska. A bunch of corn huskers, right? And it's like their football team or some shit. So a bunch of corn-husking motherfuckers. They were admitted 37th state of the U.S. in 1867. So, you know, they beat Colorado on that. The only state in the U.S. whose legislature is unicameral and officially nonpartisan. So they don't even have, they got, you know, every other state's got senators and House of Representatives, but not in Nebraska. They just got one house. Just combine those two. Who gives a shit? Why have two separate bodies when you could just combine them and just have less representatives? Let's have less representatives. But I guess you'll get a lot more accomplished that way. So, indigenous people, this would be the last thing, but Nebraska, you're living back in the 1830s. You know, it's ridiculous. Indigenous people, there used to be Omaha people, but, you know, you went ahead and named your city, your largest city, after these people, but where are the Omaha people? Where are the Missouri people, or the Ponca, or the Pawnee, or the Oto? The Oto people are gone. And various branches of the Lakota Sioux tribes lived in the region for thousands of years. So Nebraska, you didn't just wipe out the indigenous population. You're not just back in the 1800s with your horse and buggy and your presumptive fucking Victorian, I don't know, 1800s. What can we say about 1800s? It was a long time ago, so, you know, Nebraska. Anyways, fuck you, Nebraska. You know, fuck you, Nebraska. Let these guys go. Let Barbara and Patrick Giron go. Let them go. Let them go. Now, you know, what a great fucking Christmas. Instead of having a nice Christmas, which that fucking family would have been. God, that's such a, what a great fucking grandparents. Can you get better grandparents than Barbara and Patrick Giron? You can't get, God, I want to adopt them as my grandparents. Anytime you want to come, 60 pounds worth of weed. Anytime you want to deliver 60 pounds worth of weed. Yes, Barbara and Patrick Giron. Grandpa, Grandma, Papa. Well, just come to Colorado, you know, that's a lot less all the way to Vermont. Nah, just right here. Anyways.